Hey guys, welcome to my weekly comment corner. So I'm going to take a couple comments from the past week or two of videos, and then I'm going to leave my personal video response to those comments. So I got 4 comments here, 3 of which are from Shinken13, and then 1 from MyFaceVids. So if you're 2, you can stay. If not, you know the drill. So anyway, what Shinken said, first comment here, is on Hey Marie and Satan called, "Wow, really? It seems that I made a mistake and watched more of your videos. Just because you draw a flowchart doesn't make it actual logic and objective conclusion. I would just as easily say that you're a Nazi supporter because you've gone to a doctor, based on the fact that medical science was advanced and continues to use Nazi medical research findings. Both conclusions are fallacious. At least Marines are actively doing something they believe in. What do you do? Vlog? That's nothing useful." Well, in reply to that, have you heard of a sense of humor? That was what the whole video was kind of about. It's like underlaying, it's up to the whole Satan and everything. That the majority of that is true, but mainly a sense of humor was what was required for that. Alright, second comment. "So what you're saying is that we should set a level of discrimination. If one makes too much money because they work hard, get lucky, or sadly lack morals, and they should be punished? Sounds like a free democratic society. If you said that everyone should be taxed equally, then that would be okay. But the Occupy blank movement is costing taxpayers money as well. Is that fair? Once again, you still haven't addressed the issue of action. What is sitting intents accomplishing?" So, if you've worked really hard for your money and you're a millionaire, that's fantastic, good for you. Yes, you should be taxed according to how much you make. A lot of millionaires, billionaires, and extremely rich billionaires don't get taxed. In fact, they get given money. They have a 0 or a minus tax rate. So they get either pay nothing or get paid money. And whose money is getting their paid? Well, us, our taxes. Our taxes are going to those super rich people. So in all honesty, I would rather my taxes go to funding anything that is necessary for these Occupy movements than go to some rich guy sitting in a chair smoking a Cuban cigar that probably costs $2,000 and helping him get richer and richer. But not so he can spend that money on corporations or to help build the economy up and creating jobs and whatnot and passing on the wealth. No, so he can just bank that and get richer and richer. That's my problem with extremely rich people. A lot of them don't use their money to, it's the trickle-down effect. It's like, oh, the richer they are, they'll invest and they'll do this and they'll do that and they'll help the economy and spur the economy. No, majority of them sit on it and just get rich. That's really flawed. Yes, the Occupy movement is costing taxpayers money. Depending on what it's costing money on is how my view is based. Like in my country, the police are complaining that they have to police the protesting movements. Peaceful movements. You don't have to police anything. You could leave 2 cops there and that would be fine. Nobody's going to riot. The few people that actually are coming in instigating riots and whatnot tend to actually be police themselves. Our taxpayers' money are causing riots via the police being paid to create damages to make it look like the Occupy movement is a flawed, a bunch of hippies, whatever, wanting to cause damage and whatnot. That's ridiculous, and that's the problem, is our taxpayer money isn't going to the right thing. If it's going to change something, if it's going to build roads, going to build hospitals, going to build and fund school, I'm okay with my taxes going to that. If that's where all my taxes were going and the Occupy movement is taken out of that, then I would be sad. I would not agree with it. But my taxes aren't going to that. No, not at all, really. Basically, hardly anything is going towards those things. Majority of it is just being fucking funneled upwards towards the richer class. What is sitting intents accomplishing? You know that they're there. You're still hearing their message. And you know what they're doing. That's what sitting in temp was accomplishing. If they were there, we are the 99%, and then they left the next day, no one would remember. But they're there every day, they're freezing their ass off, sitting in tents, they're getting noticed, they're getting their point across. People have to continually remember that they exist, and therefore remember the point that they bring across. Hence, sitting in tents. Third comment, thank you for your reply, theatrics aside, but I would like to clarify something. I never said that the 99% were greedy, nor did I say they wanted communism or socialism, so please don't visit upon my intentions. You did try to answer my 2 questions, but it seems you didn't understand them, so here they are again. Government is corrupt, controlled by corporations, and who will make the required change? Thanks to reply, here's a second. How does the 99% intend to make changes themselves? So, I never watched my other videos, so I can't say for sure. I likely never said that you said that they were greedy and wanted communism socialism. I probably ended quote and then continued on my own thought, but I didn't clarify when your end quote was. But anyway, so continuing on. If government is corrupt and controlled by corporations, then who will make the required change? The people. See, mostly all the politicians in power right now are kind of bought out and controlled. They're puppets to a puppet master. What you'd have to do, you'd have to go in there, clean out all the puppets, put in people with true democracy, say in the States, things like people like Ron Paul, or things like that, and then have a voters select based on like previous actions and whatnot, select the Congress and whatnot, and actually look at people, their history, where the money trail is coming from, and whatnot, to actually get a true democracy going on here instead of just funded by. And somebody once said, to change something, make a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. So I don't have personally, I don't have a new model that would make the current one that we live in obsolete. But I'm sure out of the thousands and thousands of people that are out there working to try and change things, they're coming up with something. So I'm sure it's out there, the new idea, they're coming. So that's the 99% intend to make change themselves, is eventually by creating a new model. I mean, that has to be the final goal. If we had no way to change or to fix it, then what we'd be doing would be purposeless. And as you can see, if you actually look into the Occupy movements and you see what some people are talking about, you see that they have quite a few great ideas, and we just need to kind of fit all that into a new model of the way we live and apply it. Work in progress. And My Face Fits said on my 9/11 planes theory, makes no sense at all, mate. Sorry, but who cares about projections? Real people lost loved ones. Explain that one. Were the projections, do they work for the government? Come on, man. Well, real people lost loved ones, yes, because if you're going to fake the largest terrorist attack in American history, of course you have to have casualties. You have to have a lot of casualties. You have to have a lot of family members that are sad, depressed, and are going to speak about how sad and depressing and terrible that was. So of course, lots of people, real people, are going to die. The planes, have you looked at any of the 9/11 footage? I don't know. There's a few, I mean, it's easy to omit things from the footage, right? So there's a plane flying into the building. Suddenly, the right wing or the tail wing just disappears, just poof, gone, before it hits the building, and then it flies in the building 3/4 through, and then boom, explodes. Same with another plane, goes in like this much into the building, and then suddenly explosion, but no glass flying on or anything, just flies right in. Does that actually seem like a physical plane could do that? And as I said, it was a theory, so not all theories, you take them with a grain of salt. They're just people's ideas on facts or information that they come up with and conclude themselves. So, like I said, it's a theory. 9/11 planes hologram, it fits along with NASA's Bluebeam. You want to try and fool the public? Why don't you stage a giant terrorist attack and then see how well that goes and see if they buy it? The planes actually hit buildings. And then if they think the planes are real, then perfect. They'll think Jesus coming out of the sky saying, "I am your Messiah," is real as well. They'll fall for it. So that was this week's comment corner. I hope I answered it with any clarification. Sorry, I was a little bit tongue-tied today, but if you have any more questions, especially you there, Shinkin, feel free to post, and I will try my best to answer them. Peace, mates. Have a good one.